Hello everyone and welcome back. In this module, we're learning about brushes, some advanced level stuff using brushes. Okay, and at the end of the module, we'll create a very cool design, a very cool project, and we're going to also have an assignment which I'll require you to do. Okay, so in order to start, we're going to start with a preset here. Let's choose this common preset here, and now, in order to use brushes, we have to select the brush tool. Now, this is the brush tool, okay, the paintbrush tool. And I'm very sure you're familiar with the paintbrush tool. Now, to use the paintbrush tool, you have to do select the paintbrush tool and draw what you like to draw. Just draw freely on your artboard, okay? Now, when you double click on paintbrush tool, we have the paintbrush tool options. Now we have here which says fidelity. This controls the level of smoothing Adobe Illustrator will do to your drawing. Okay, so if we have it at 0, for example, or at very accurate, means it's going to be very accurate to what you draw. It is going to be very accurate to what you draw. Very accurate, no smoothing to make it look beautiful. Okay, but if we now boost up the fidelity, then okay, you can see that we are now having Adobe Illustrator help us edit the smoothness of our drawing, of our brush, to make sure we achieve something really cool. Okay, so that's one thing you have to know. I like keeping it at smooth. Okay, everything comes out better with smooth. Now we have other options here, which, for example, this one says keep selected and edit selected path. So what this does is it enables us to continue editing our selected path or our drawing. Okay, so when we draw a line like this, we have the drawing we just did selected. So if we just uncheck it, for example, and we go, we'll see that it's not selected. Okay, it's not selected. Then that's how it is. And because of that, we won't be able to continue editing it. So in order to have this option check, we need to have this option also checked. And this slider here will make Adobe Illustrator continue editing the parts based on a distance. Okay, distance of 20 pixels. In this case, it can be lower. So the lower the distance, the easier it will be for Adobe Illustrator to continue editing. Okay, so that's just for you to know. So that's it for the brush options. And now when you have your brush tool selected, we have here, which is the brush panel. Okay, so we're going to bring it to this point. So we're going to bug it out. So this is a brush panel, and in this panel, we can see more about our brush, our selected brush. We can see other brush types which we can select. We can actually create new brushes using this panel. We can edit our existing brushes using this panel. We can access brush libraries using this panel. Again, we can save brushes that we've created using this panel. So this panel is very important. So when we select the brush here and you draw, you see that we now have the brush applied. Okay, so this is more of a stitch kind of brush. Okay, and even if we use, let's say, a pen tool and just drew a path like this, and come here and select the brush, you then see that it's then applied to our path. Okay, it's applied to our path like this. Okay. Yeah. So let's see, we have this brush selected, or let's see this brush is selected. We have this. We can now double click this and go to options. Okay, so we can see the type of brush, and this is calligraphic brush, and these are the options for the brush. We can have an angle, we can have a roundness, okay, we can have a size, and so on and so forth. So let's assume we just do this and yeah, and apply to the current to the current line, we can see that the effects have now been applied. So if we are going to be using this guy now, we can now see that it's used more like a calligraphic pen. Okay? Just get everything. And I want us to take a look at the types of brush and how to create a brush in Adobe Illustrator. Now, I'm just going to come here and select my ellipse tool and draw out an ellipse like this. Give it a fill color here. So this is our ellipse. And what I want to do is I want to uh, show you the types of brushes and also create a new brush from this ellipse. Now, I just need to select my brush or my ellipse and drag it to the brush panel and release it. Now you can see that we now have this menu pop up and we can now see the types of brushes. You have calligraphic brush, you have scatter brush, you have art brush, you have pattern brush. Okay, so these are the types of brushes, but we can also have Bristol brush, and we are going to look at them in the course of this video. Okay, let's say we want to create an art brush. We'll then see options here where we can choose the width. Okay, so the width can either be fixed or can be based on a pressure that when you're using a pressure pen, okay, a drawing tab. So this will come handy, and we have other ones here. We have the rotation, so the width will be based on the rotation. We cannot leave it at fixed. We have brush scale options. We have scale proportionately, scale to fit stroke length, and scale between guides. Okay, and you can just come and check these options and see what they do. Now these are the directions. Okay, this is the default one. And when you click OK, we don't see that you have a brush here. So let me just try going to be weird, right? So this is the type of brush we've created here. Okay, so there are many other types of brushes. There are many other types of brushes. You're going to delete this like this, and also delete this guy. Now, in the next video, we're going to be learning about how to create the different types of brushes, okay? I call them custom brushes. So, yeah, that's what we're going to learn in the next video. So, we're not going to look a lot into creating these brushes. I just wanted to show you the types of brushes. That's why I tried creating one of them here. So, I just want you to get familiar with the brushes panel here. And, okay, let's select this brush now that we just created. We can now delete it using this button here. We can click here to create a new brush. Okay. Then we can now click here to kind of save brushes and access all the library of brushes. Now we have different libraries of brushes. We have, for example, the artistic brushes. We have the calligraphic artistic brushes. Now these are similar to these ones we have here, and this will help us create calligraphy. Okay, so let's just select this guy here and write something. See, note, I'm going to increase the size of my artboard so as to have enough room to write what I want to write, right? So, delete them first, um, and choose a more grammatic one. Let me choose this guy and see what we get. So, let's get brush tool and uh, not bad. Vibes. Actually, let me reduce the size like this. Okay. Then maybe let's try other calligraphic brushes. Use this. Give it this one. Let's try this one and just increase the stroke size. Let's try this other layer. This one would give us just the normal thing we are used to. See? We'll just go with the catty and maybe use the stroke size to 1. Good vibes. Not too perfect, but you get the point. So these are some of the things we can do with artistic brushes. Like your all calligraphic brushes. You can write and yeah. There are even more categories of brushes. We have under artistic other ones like artistic ink, artistic paintbrush, the stroke pen brush, you have the watercolor brush, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's just keep adding them to what we have on ground to see what changes we get. So this is how this one works. Try minutes here. Okay. So we have all the brushes. We actually have a lot of them. A lot of them. We have vector packs, grunges. So I really like these ones also. You can use them to draw stuff out. Yeah. So maybe select the guy and give it a ground brush. Or maybe let's just use this one. Let me just use this one. Increase the stroke size. Okay. In our beginner course, we actually used these brushes to create some really cool artwork. Okay. Okay, let's also keep looking at some other ones. Let's look at these ones. And we can actually drag them out. So we can actually drag them out like this, and they act like standalone objects. Sorry. Actually drag them out like this, and increase their size like this. Then objects expand, and then maybe ungroup. And oh, yeah. Yeah, actually just one group, one object. Yeah, so as you can see, we can now use them as standalone shapes with not necessarily as brushes. So we have these other ones. They are called the hand brush, also rather the hand drawn brushes. Okay, and we have decorative banners, which is these ones just work like this. They actually banners. We increase the size. Yeah, yeah, is what we get. Yeah, as you can see, I just dragged it out, so it's also possible to grab them out, have them as standalone objects. Yep, come here. Let's take a look at some other ones. Let's look at image brushes. So these are image brushes. They are made from images. Okay. Switch from there, we got this our stitch brush, which we use when starting the video, right? Look at that's this guy. This is our stitch brush. Now, let me just see how some of these image brushes work. Here, so you can see how this guy works. It's also similar to a stitch. Yeah, it's more of a stitch, a wool stitch. And we have this other guy, which looks like a flower, right? Yeah. So when we come to look at how to create custom brushes, we're also going to learn how to create brushes like this. That's using custom images. Okay. You can actually navigate uh, from category to category or from library to library. It's this objects here, all because buttons here. Just increase the arche. Yeah, this looks good. Delete. And this was a basic roundup, or I'll call it a refresh, of the brush tool and how to use the brush libraries. Okay, so in the next lecture, we're going to be looking at even more advanced stuff. See you there. Everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we'll be learning how to create brushes in Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so I'm going to start with this common preset here. And in order to create the brushes, you need to use the brushes panel. Okay, so we looked at the brushes panel in the previous video, and we're also going to use it to create our brushes. Okay, and we also looked at the types of brushes in the previous video. So I'm going to start with an ellipse, and then need to shift X to swap the colors, and I'm just going to remove the true color here and reduce the size by this much. And in order to create the brush, we have two ways. We either drag it in like this, like how we did the other one, or we select the brush and just come here where it says new brush and you click, and now you see all the types of brushes. We have the calligraphic, we have the scatter brush, the art brush, the crystal brush, the pattern brush. Okay, now let's start with the calligraphic, and just select calligraphic and OK. Now we see that the options come up, and we are able to edit the options for the brush. We have the angle. We need to make this, let's say, 120 maybe, and then the roundness. And you can practically see from the preview here what you get with the changes you make. Okay. Then we have the size. So I'm just going to make this big. Okay, this big. And we can actually choose if we want these changes to be random or fixed or based on the pressure we get from our pen. That's our drawing tablet. Okay, and we have these other ones. You can just stick to fixed for now. Again, just click OK. You can actually write the name of the brush. Maybe you say our new brush, our new Kali brush. Kali standing for calligraphic, and Oche. Good. So now when we select our brush tool and then draw, we see that we are drawing with our new brush. Again, here we have it here, our new Kali brush. Okay, so right now I double click it, we are now able to also edit. Maybe we want the angle to be like this. maybe the roundness to be a little bit more to the oval side, and just okay, and you'll be required to specify if you want to apply them on the existing ones. So when you do, you see what we now have. Okay, so calligraphic pens or brushes can be used to create some really beautiful artworks. Okay, mostly writing. Okay, so I just increased the artboard size and setting my brush tool again. Let's write something. Oh, let's see, happy, happy Christmas. My writing here is bad. I'm just going to delete this once here and try to write again. So, okay, we can see that Illustrator puts the smoothing effect for us automatically. That's because we have taken the fidelity to smooth, right? From our previous video. Christian, or the Christmas. Okay, so we're going to create a new one, new brush. Select and come here, calligraphic brush. So for this guy, I'm going to take the angle to this. Yeah, and then for the roundness, I'm just going to kind of bring it a little bit lower, like this, and I'm going to leave every other thing the same and okay. And this one should give us a more dramatic effect. So let's write good. Let's try to increase the font size and see. Or the stroke. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like it now. Just delete and start with a stroke of 3. Yeah, so you can see how sweet and nice it's looking. Uh, okay, and you, and you know, of course, that we can kind of duplicate our letters, right? And we can kind of edit them using the direct selection tool. We can kind of move anchor points, kind of do stuff like this, okay? If we want. So here I have good, and then vibes. Perfect. Select them, give it a bit of rotation, then maybe scale it down a bit. Good vibes only. We're just going to make this whole really big and dramatic. I'm just going to repeat it here. Perfect. Shift it a bit. We're also going to maybe make this all a little bit bigger. Okay. Yeah, so I like what we have here. Good vibes only. And maybe we can just have something like this. Okay? Just increase the stroke sizes. Perfect. Good. We're going to take the artboard tool and kind of duplicate this artboard so as to create all those stuff. And okay, the next we're going to look at is um sorry. The next we're going to look at is a scatter brush. So for this, I'm going to use a symbol. Okay, I'm going to use symbols. So just come to this symbol panel. Or if it's not open here, come to panel, then go to symbols. Okay, symbols. Now come here and go to the libraries and let's look for something flowery. Okay. Okay, sorry, I am currently at the brushes panel. Let me just dock it here. Okay, so we need to be on symbols. So come to libraries, and then let's check flowers. Perfect. Now we're going to use some of these flowers to create a scatter brush so you can see how they work, right? So I'm just going to drag them out like I did this one. So just select the symbol and drag it out like this. And just kid it up and select, drag it out, kid it up, select, drag it out, kid it up. Whichever one. Select, drag it out, kid it up. Okay, let's take this guy also. Scale it up. Okay, scale it up. So now these are the symbols we're going to use for our demonstration, okay? Now the next thing we have to do is select them and just expand them. Okay, you might need to do this a couple of times for some of them. Let me see. Um, so just expand and okay, select, expand. Okay, select, expand, select, and expand, and expand. Select this guy and finally expand. So I think we have done justice to all of them. If we do not expand them, we are going to get some errors while trying to create our brush. So Ubuntu fonts. Bring this guy. Are you Ubuntu fonts? I want to be behind. Okay, I don't know why it's not. Uh, just work with what I have like this. So sorry. I think we need to group some of them because after expanding, some of them cease to be in groups, right? So let's try it now. Let's select every one of them. Maybe scale it down a bit, scale them down a bit, and then come to the brushes panel and click here, and then just scatter brush. And okay. Now we have the size, we have the spacing between them, we have the scatter, whether it be fixed or random or based on the pressure pen, and we have the rotation. So I'm just going to randomize all of them and just try to create something. I think the best thing to do is just make them fixed. Okay, just make them fixed for now so that we just create the brush first. So let's go. Okay, now we have now created our brush. So let's just shift these guys here and use the brush tool to draw out or to draw out on the artboard. Now, what we can then do is just come double click on the scatter brush and then let's now make some changes and see as they get affected on our drawing here. Okay, so when we have the size, when we change the size, we can see that the size is increased. Okay, then for spacing, I think we just keep the size as default, almost as default. Okay, so for the spacing, you can maybe reduce it or increase it. Maybe we should reduce spacing. Then the scatter. Uh, I think what we have presently is still good. What we have, uh, what we have here like this, or the default state is still good. Rotation, maybe, yeah, something like this will do. And then we can see that we also have here set rotation relative to. We can make the rotation relative to the pitch or to the path being drawn. Okay, and you can see the changes as I edit. So I'm going to leave it at path and then OK. And it down says whether I should apply the changes and then just click apply. And I now take my brush. All our artwork will be created based on our new settings. Okay. So in fact, we can just saturate our artboard with these flowers and create a very nice background. Okay, and use this as a very nice background. Perfect. It's possible to just export the artboard. Then just try exporting into file. Export. Let's export us, and then we just we'll use JPEG and then use artboards, and we want to export only artboard 2. So artboard 2 to 2. And then let's use this, let's name this background and OG export. We don't have, wait, we choose the color mode. So RGB, and just going to make this 300. Okay. And our artboard has been exported. Now, this is what we now have. We can use this to serve as a background if we want. Okay, perfect. Now the next type of brush, maybe I'll just use the artboard tool to kind of separate the two artboards and create a new one by duplicating this one, the artboard 1, and just delete the work we have here. And next, we're going to be looking at creating a Bristol brush. So create the ellipse and Shift X to give it the fill color. And when you just come here and then choose the Bristol brush. Even though we have the art brush, let's just create the art brush first. So when you create the art brush, okay, and we of course have our options. We can change the name. We can stretch to fit stroke length, gear our scale proportionately, and so on and so forth. You can select a key color. You can just use tints, okay, and okay. Now we have our new brush, and when we tick our brush tool, you can see that this is how the art brush works. This is how the art brush works. It just stretches our shape and creates a brush with it, okay? Stretches our shape in the path of the brush. That's simply how the art brush works. So let's try editing some of the options to see what we get. So you see, scale proportionately is what we now get, okay? And basically, not much, but you get the point. You get the point. And that's it for the arts brush. So I'm just going to create this guy again and give it a fill color and come and create my brush. Now I have the next one, which is the Bristol brush, and okay. Now we have options for the Bristol brush. Let's just hit OK and then try to create a Bristol brush. We can see what the Bristol brush looks like, right? Kind of create this effect of, let's see, watercolor. Okay, this watercolor effect, this kind of effect. So that's what the Bristol brush does. Now, don't click on it and let's try to change some of the settings so we can see what we get. For increasing the size, this is what we get. Bristol left, this is what we get. Okay, the Bristol density, this is what we get. The thickness, this is what we get. Okay, print opacity. Okay. Then we have this one we call the stiffness, so it's either flexible or rigid. Perfect. So we are now asked whether to replace or to apply. Then we apply, and yeah. So this is now our brush. Of course, we can change the color. Okay, so you will get. So I like this effect. I'm gonna try to use the block tool and see if it's going to work with this brush. Okay, go back to the pin brush tool. So that's it for the Bristol brush. And finally, we're going to be creating the final one, which is called the pattern brush. So for this guy, we are going to be importing some images. So go to File and go to Open, and then drag out all of these images, all the selected ones. Um, grab them out like this, all of them, excluding this guy and excluding the background. Okay, so just drag them out and okay, open. Yeah, actually have them all open as different documents. So we're going to grab them into the existing one or our projects file. You know what? I'm just going to close them all and I'm going to import them. So there are actually other ways of bringing them, of course, by now. We can either place them or we can just drag them. The simplest way is to just drag them. So I'm just going to drag them. Okay, drag them. So grab them into Adobe Illustrator and they are now imported. And this brush we have here, this artwork we have here, has a way of consuming our memory space. Okay, so in order to clean up some memory space, I'm just going to gig it, the whole thing. And yeah, Adobe Illustrator is now smooth again. We're going to create brushes with these images. Okay, these images. So for this guy, I actually wanted to create the pattern brush with it, but I've changed my mind. I'm just going to delete. So I'm not going to use it because I think it's not going to go down well. Now this is a dumbbell. This is a dumbbell, and for this guy, I want the size of this part here to fit into here to here. Okay, so I'm just going to reduce the size like this. Just try to fit it in perfectly. Maybe scale it up a bit. Perfect. And I'm going to drop this guy to this point so that we have the other half of the dumbbell or the other end of the dumbbell. So what I will do is I'll just reduce the sizes of these images like this. Now, whenever you import an image into Illustrator and you see this X outline across the image, what Illustrator is telling you is that this image has a link outside Illustrator. Okay, so it's not fully in Illustrator. It has a file outside Illustrator which it links to. Okay, so that's it. So there's what we call embed image. So this function called embed image helps us to bring our images fully into Illustrator. And with that, we can take the file of the Illustrator, like the file we're working on, and send it somewhere to a different computer where we do not have that image copied, and we'll still find our image inside. Okay, that's one thing we can do with embed image. And in order to create brushes also, we need to embed our images. So that's what we're going to do now. So select the image, come to properties panel, and where you see embed, just click on embed, and you can see that we no longer have the X outline. So select each of them and just embed, embed, embed. And now if we try creating the brush, let's see, we just drag it in, and we try creating the brush, okay, the pattern brush, we can see that we won't be able to create it. Okay, so it means we really have to embed the image. To embed, perfect. And then the next thing to do is, of course, to create our brush, right? So drag it here and pattern brush and OK. And now we can see the option for the pattern brush. Let's give it the name road, okay, because it's a road image. Then for the scale, fixed is okay. And basically, can we just reduce the scale a bit? And then you have nuclearization method. We have tint. We got it with a tint and stretch to fit. And with this now, we take our brush tool and just drag, holding down shift. And you can see we've now turned our image into a brush. Now when I zoom in, we can see that what Adobe Illustrator did, it just took these images and multiplied them along the length of our brush, right? And we can even do curved shapes here with our brush, but we can see this white line here, and just an error that happens when your image is not properly cut. Okay, and of course, if your line is too curved, you are definitely going to get this error even if you have a good image. So that's one thing you have to note. Oh yeah, that's it for this guy. And you can see that we can simply just create our road kind of design, right, using the brush, and everything goes perfectly. Yeah, so select everything and just delete, 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 delete. And then for, sorry, for this guy is Europe, and just select the guy, come and click and use your pattern. And now we can see that this is what we have, right? And the settings, just leave everything the way it is. And okay, now take our brush and drag, and we can see that we are now able to create a very beautiful rope design using our custom brush. It definitely take time to paint the yeah. So that's how our pattern brush work. Now for the last one, we have a dumbbell, and what we have here. I'll just delete this guy too. So we have a dumbbell, and then we have three parts to this. We have three parts, okay? So the first one is the middle, or rather, the first one is the left side, then the middle, and then the right side. Now I'm going to select the middle, drag it in, then select paintbrush, okay? And let's see, dumbbell, and okay, perfect. Now we have our dumbbell crochet, okay? Now, what if we want to have these guys at the edge, at the left and right edges of our dumbbell, right? Because a dumbbell doesn't just have the shaft here, right? It has the head and the other head, right? So what you do is select the first one, which is this one, and drag it there, and just hold down Alt and place it here. And okay, so like the second one, drag it there, hold down Alt and leave it here. Okay. Then we use our paint tool and just drag out. Now we see that this is our dumbbell. We've achieved our dumbbell, and we can even we use a pen tool and maybe create a stroke like this and just come and give it this. And yeah, as you can see, looks perfect. Good. Yes, guys, and that will be it for the pattern brushes and for all the other types of brushes. So I'm just going to leave this artboard in an Illustrator file so you can have access to it. And I would love you to just go in and try to create and make sure you create this, okay? Just try to create this and many other more, maybe three more, okay? You can just think of whatever words you like to have and then just create it using the calligraphic pen, okay? And also practice and practice and practice because that's the only way you get used to whatever you're learning. That will be it for this lecture on custom brushes and see you in the next one.